Louie T, welcome. You are here on lockdown coverage, week 2 of the National Football League. Carolina Panthers at home taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Remember when this was a big-time NFC matchup? Boy, those days seem so long ago. Only the Panthers are good now, and 49ers came into this game a heavy underdog. And so I was expecting a blowout start to finish, but these guys actually made this a ball game. At one point early on, they fought, they fell behind, they came back, made it a ball game before the Panthers ultimately put them away. Let's talk about this game, but before we do, first and foremost, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. If you're on social media, so am I. So I'm on Twitter. In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. If you're watching this video live on the live stream on YouTube, or you're on Twitter while watching this, send me a message if you want to have your voice heard. I will read your message at the end of the video by simply using the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read. And if you're on Facebook, well, guess what? I was like me too. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and like the page while you're at it. Another way to find yourself in tune to what's going on the Louie Tee Network. With that being said, let's jump into this breakdown. All right, 49ers weren't able to get it done. No one expected them to, but this game was a lot closer than the final score may indicate. And so, or at least for a moment it was. So let's jump into the likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe for this ball game as the 49ers took on the Carolina Panthers. We start with the likes, and we start with the road team, that being the 49ers in their first half likes. Forcing an interception on the first possession of the game. Navarro Bowman able to get his hands in between the receiver and the ball, batted into the air, picked off by Antoine Bethea, which set the 49ers up for a scoring opportunity early in this ball game. Forcing a fumble and then capitalizing on that fumble. They forced a fumble, were able to recover that fumble, and then turned around and got a touchdown a couple plays later on the offensive side of the football. So that's huge. They were able to force the interception, had even better position in terms of field position when they forced the interception in the fumble, but yet they had to settle for a field goal on the interception, and they were able to punch the turnover on the fumble into a touchdown. So capitalizing off of turnovers. Turnovers are great because they take the football away from the opposition, but you don't maximize a turnover unless you turn that into points. And really, you're looking for 7 off of those turnovers. They were able to do that the second time around, getting the touchdown to Torrey Smith to get on the board early in this game and get up on the Panthers 10-7 early in this ball game. The first half likes for the Panthers. Scoop and score on the Hyde fumble. They were able to generate a turnover and get on the scoreboard. 49ers got a field goal early off of a Panthers turnover off the interception. And it was 3-0 for quite some time in this game before the Panthers were able to generate a fumble off of Carlos Hyde, scoop it up. Shaq Thompson, Johnny on the spot, able to scoop it and score it and give the Panthers their first points of this game at 7-3. Huge play by the Panthers defense. Great response after the touchdown on the fumble by the 49ers when they were able to hit Torrey Smith on that touchdown strike. Panthers didn't waste any time. The very first play on the next possession after going down 10-7 in the ball game, Cam Newton finds Greg Olsen for a 78-yard touchdown strike. Just like that, they're back on top 14-10, never to trail in this game again. So I thought that was a championship response. You get down at home, you make a couple of mistakes early, it cost you the lead, you turn around and you make a statement quickly that, nah, we're not having that today. You're not winning this football game. Let me put you in your place. Big play by Olsen, and his biggest catch and run of his career put the Panthers up 14-10. They would never trail again in this ball game. Excellent special teams. They went out, they traded for Andy Lee at the end of the preseason, and it's paying off dividends. Huge punt at the end of the first half. pinning the 49ers inside the 10-yard line. Worley with a great down inside the 5. So great special teams there by the Panthers. That led to a 3-and-out that the 49ers then punted the football, gave the Panthers great field position, and they then turned that great field position into a field goal right before the half. So that's just great teamwork working in unison there. Great special teams leading to some instant offense at the end of the half. You know how I feel about end of the half scoring. To me, it's vital. If you can get your hands on some points, I don't give a damn what it is, 3-7, safety, I don't care. You can get your hands on some points before halftime. To me, that is huge. The Panthers were able to extend the lead out to 17-10 at the half with that field goal. Really good special teams and offense to get those points before the end of the halftime break. Let's go to the first half dislikes. And we go back to the 49ers, settling for a field goal off that interception. First possession of the game, you force an interception. You're deep in Panthers territory after the Bethea pick, and you're not able to do anything. Essentially have to settle for a field goal right then and there on the spot. Don't like that at all. You did pick up one first down running the football, but again, you need to find a way to get that in the end zone. 49ers aren't good enough to squander opportunities like that. Got to get in the end zone. Weren't able to do it. Carlos Hyde fumble. Can't happen. Again, I just talked about this team not being good enough to overcome turnovers, especially against a good team like the Panthers on the road nonetheless. When's the last time the Panthers lost at home? You don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. That's why you can't have these types of mistakes on the road against the Carolina Panthers. You're asking to lose the football game. And not only did he put it down on the carpet, it ended up directly in 7 points as Shaq Thompson was able to scoop and score that fumble. Giving up an open one-play 78-yard touchdown. So you find a way to scratch and claw and take the lead at 10-7. And immediately on the next possession, first play, you give up a 78-yard touchdown to Greg Olsen. That can't happen. Make the Panthers earn it. Don't give it to them in one gift-wrapped play. No help over the top. You know you got man-to-man coverage essentially in your zone. If you're Antoine Bethea, you cannot allow Greg Olsen to not only eat your cushion up, but then beat you, run right by you, and then you're not able to catch him. Poor defense by the 49ers, giving it up that quick after they worked so hard to get a lead in the ball game. And Keith Reeser drops an interception right before the half. I talked about the Panthers squeezing out that final field goal before halftime to give them a 7-point lead going into the halftime break. Well, Keith Reeser had an opportunity to take those 3 points off the scoreboard with a pick. He drops the football. Again, if you want to win on the road, you got to make these types of plays. Keith Reeser had an opportunity, failed to make the play. Panthers get a field goal out of that deal and go up 7 at the halftime break. Let's go to the second half, let's go to the Panthers first half dislikes. Cam Newton throwing the interception on the first possession. It was a great play by Bowman to get in there, bat the ball into the air. Cam Newton was trying to get the football to Ed Dixon, and Bowman baited him, batted it in the air, picked off by Antoine Bethea. So just a really good play by that 49ers defense. Fozzie Whitaker with the fumble that allowed the 49ers to then turn around and hit their receiver, Torrey Smith, for a touchdown to give them a 10-7 lead in this ball game. So, again, Fozzie Whitaker filling in for Jonathan Stewart, who injured himself in this game. Can't put the football on the carpet, even though Fozzie Whitaker had himself a day. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. Can't put the football down on the carpet if you're Fozzie Whitaker. Let's get to the likes for the second half from both teams. We'll get to the 49ers first. Gerald Hodges and Sean Drones with some hustle to get this 49ers team back in the game. It was 31-10. This game seemed to be getting away from the 49ers. Looked like it was all but over. Panthers starting to have fun. They're dancing. They're doing all the things that they do when they beat teams up at the crib. And all of a sudden, some hustle plays by a couple of players got the 49ers back into this game in the blink of an eye. Gerald Hodges, after Cam Newton makes a magnificent escape out of the pocket. Don't know how he escaped. He jumps backwards, jumps forward, jumps sideways, and eludes 3 49ers all. It's almost like a playing checkers or something, and the guy just jumps you, boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, he's got three of your pieces on his side. And it seemed like that. It was a gorgeous escape from the pocket, Houdini-like, by Cam Newton. Then he gets outside the pocket, gets a little reckless. Gerald Hodges tracks him down from behind and knocks the football free. It is then scooped up by Eli Harold, who puts the 49ers in a position to get a field goal, and that they did. You would like to have seen them get a touchdown in that instance, but they didn't. And so I really would have loved to have seen Eli Harold stay in bounds, tiptoe the sidelines, outrun that lineman, and get in the end zone. That's what I really would have liked to have seen done. But he wasn't able to do that. 49ers weren't able to cash in with a touchdown, but they did get a field goal to cut the lead to 31-13. Then on the next possession, on the ensuing kickoff, they kicked the football off. Ted Ginn Jr. is back there fumbling around with the football. And Sean Jones, with some great hustle, runs down and recovers the football at the 4-yard line, setting up a Blaine Gabbert quarterback keep on the next play. And just like that, it's a touchdown. It's 31-20. The 49ers are back in this game. And so give them some credit for hustling. Give the 49ers some credit for making some plays to turn this ball game around. It was getting away from them. It was about to be an all-out assault, and they reeled the Panthers in and made it a game for a short period of time. And then after forcing the Panthers to kick a field goal, and the Panthers extended the lead to 14 at 34-20, Vance McDonald on the very next play that the 49ers had the football, 75-yard touchdown strike from Blaine Gabbert. And just like that, beautiful catch and run, great block on the play by one of the 49er receivers and to lay out Luke Kuechly. And just like that, it's 27-34. It's a one-score game when it was just a three-score game at 31-10. 49ers fought. They scratched, they clawed, they got back into this ball game, made it tight for a second, and then the Panthers said, all right, we're going to stop playing with y'all, and they put them away. Let's get to the lights for the second half for the Panthers. Kelvin Benjamin for me, because when it's on, he transforms like Optimus Prime. He's such a beast, and you saw it in this game. The reason that the Panthers are going to be that much harder to defend this season is because they've got a guy that Cam Newton can force the football to in tight coverage. When they need it, he can come down with it. That game got tight at 34-27. It was 3rd and 10, and Cam Newton forced him the football in tight coverage. He takes a shot, helmet flies off, he's got the football. That's the type of plays that Kelvin Benjamin can make for this offense, and that's why they're going to be that much more scary on the offensive side of the football because Funchess is coming into his own. You still got the tight end position. And now you get the addition of Kelvin Benjamin, a.k.a. Optimus Prime, out there making plays. And he made some big plays, some big catches in this ball game. When they needed him, he stepped up. He was the difference to me in this game. And as far as the 49ers being put away, I think that guy that did that was Kelvin Benjamin. But he couldn't have done it by himself. He couldn't have done it without Cam Newton. That's the next like on my list. This Cam Newton that I saw in this game looked a lot like the Cam Newton last year that was the MVP. I thought he made some outstanding throws. I mean, some pinpoint accurate throws. He dropped one in the bucket to Ted Ginn that ultimately ended up being incomplete. But that was you can't throw it any better than that. Another deep ball down the sideline to Ted Ginn that I thought actually should have been ruled incomplete that they gave him the catch on. That was a gorgeous throw. Cam was putting them on the money in this game. I just thought he had a phenomenal game throwing the football, and that's where they're going to win games. He can run. We know he can extend plays with his legs. He can pick up yardage. He can get the tough yards with his legs. Where he's going to help this team take the next level is with his arm, and if he continues to make throws like he made in this football game, he's going to be scary. And I tell you what, him using his legs, that's always a welcome addition, and I thought he did that well in this game. In addition to what he did from the pocket, I thought Cam Newton was outstanding. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's number one. And Cam is his name. Super Cam. Thought we saw that guy in this game. When they score 46 points, you know Cam Newton's on his game. They're not going to score 46 without Cam Newton playing an out-of-bounds type of game. Fozzie Whitaker, 16 carries, a buck in this game. Way to fill in for Jonathan Stewart. He did have the fumble, as I mentioned earlier, but I thought he was tremendous. And I like the way they got him the football out on the edge and allowed him to create in space. A couple of option plays and some quick hitters to the outside that allowed him to get out in space and operate. Thought he looked good in this football game. they can get that kind of contribution from Fozzie Whitaker moving forward. Even when Jonathan Stewart returns, they'll feel good about their backfield even better than they do right now. And Luke Kuechly with an interception to really put this game away after the 49ers had threatened. I think he was pissed off that Quentin Patton lit him up on that touchdown toss to Vance McDonald for 75 yards. Luke Kuechly was in heavy pursuit, and he thought he was going to be able to catch up, and out of nowhere comes Quentin Patton to light him up, decleat him on that play. He was pissed, and on the next possession that the 49ers had the football, he took his frustration out on the quarterback, Blaine Gabbert, in his drop by picking him off. He got up. He didn't want to celebrate with anybody. He just wanted to walk to the sideline. He was pissed. You could tell. He was like, enough of this. Let's put these chumps away. We got some other games and fish to fry. So that was a big play by Luke Kuechly, and that's why he's the best linebacker, inside linebacker in the game right now. Dislikes in the second half for the 49ers defense. They absolutely gave it up. The score was 17-10 going into halftime. At the end of the game, the Panthers had 46 points. 29 points scored in the second half is way too much for a half. Hell, that's a lot in one game, let alone a half of football. Way too many points. If you expect to win, you can't give up 29 points in a half of football. The defense was horrible in that second half of the football game. Vance McDonald with a huge drop. He makes the huge catch and run for 75 yards and a touchdown on the very next possession. They go right back to him. He's open again, may even score again, drops the football. And to me, that was the beginning of the end for the 49ers in this football game. Blaine Gabbert, 2 interceptions late to seal the deal for the Panthers. Talked about Luke Kuechly stepping in front of one and picking him off. And then the last possession, essentially to wrap this thing up, that allowed the Panthers to put that 46th point on the scoreboard was an interception by James Bradbury, a really errant pass by Blaine Gabbert that was picked off by Bradbury, his first career interception. Good to see the young fella getting involved. And for the Panthers, the dislikes in the second half, drop over the middle by Ted Ginn. You know you're going to get that from Ted Ginn Jr. He saw some shadows. He heard footsteps. He got nervous. You know he doesn't like contact. He took his eyes off the football, dropped it. That's what Ted Ginn does. Cam with the fumble. Like I said, he made an amazing run to escape the pocket, then got a little lackadaisical, didn't know that a defender was coming from behind Gerald Hodges with the strip of Cam Newton. Just needs to protect the football when he's out in space. Then Ted Ginn messing around again on the kickoff. The ball bounces into the air. He starts to get nervous and antsy, starts looking around at defenders, misplays the football, and allows the 49ers to recover again. These types of things you can get away with when you're playing the 49ers, but what happens when you're playing someone within the division and you do some nonsense like this? What happens when you're playing a better team like the Vikings next week and you do some nonsense like this? Can't have these types of mistakes if you're the Carolina Panthers. You got away with it this week because it was a lesser opponent. Keep your focus and make sure when you got a team down, you keep them down. Keep your foot on the pedal. Remember last year, one of the problems with this Panthers team, they'd get big leads, they'd blow big leads. Ultimately, they'd hang on for the win. They did it again in this game. We're up 31-10, blew that lead and had to finally go and put them away. They need to get that killer instinct. They got a team down. Keep them down. Don't ever take your foot off the gas pedal. It is hard to put your foot back on the gas pedal once you take it off. Big play given up to Vance McDonald to get the 49ers within 7 in this football game. I'm not used to seeing the Panthers give up big, huge chunk plays like a 75-yarder for a touchdown. But again, they're going through a transformation in that secondary. You're going to see some big plays being given up. And so as long as they can continue to score on the offensive side of the football, it's going to limit how much damage these big plays that they give up on the defensive side of the football actually are going to have on the game. But they did give up a big play to Vance McDonald and could have given up another one if McDonald could have caught the second pass thrown to him on the very next possession. But other than that, the Panthers dominated this football game. It shouldn't have been close. They allowed the 49ers back in the game with mistakes. If they would have played clean football the rest of the way, this game isn't even close. 49ers, give them some credit for fighting in this game, but the Panthers were just too much for them, and everyone expected them to go down in this game, and that they did. Panthers get it done, 46-27. beat up the 49ers, get their first win of the season. They're at 1-1. 49ers drop to 1-1 on the season after this loss. And so with no comments in the comment section, and I'll check Twitter quickly. I don't think I have anything there, but I'll do my due diligence and check anyhow just to make sure. Let's see if there's anything there. Not anything there. And I'll check my comments and mentions on Twitter quickly. And there are no comments there. So that's going to do it for me here on Lockdown Coverage, Week 2 edition. Panthers hosting the San Francisco 49ers. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join your man, Louie Tee. If it happens in the National Football League, I'm covering it here on Lockdown Coverage. Got more games to break down. You know what this is. You already know. I'll be back. Carolina Panthers take care of business. 46-27 over the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be back. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Arizona Cardinals. Rumble in the jungle. Or should I say, a beatdown in the desert. I'll be back. We're changing the game. One live feed at a time. See you in a bit. Have a good one.